Welcome to a deep dive that promises to fundamentally shift how you approach life's biggest challenges.
Hmm.
Today, we're diving deep into a really compelling set of sources, all centered around Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way. You know, the timeless art of turning trials into triumph.
It's a powerful one.
Our mission for you, the listeners, really to unlock the core wisdom in these pages.
Yeah, to show how ancient philosophy connects with modern examples.
Exactly, and reveal a profound truth. What stands in your way isn't just some hurdle.
No, it's the actual path forward.
The path itself, amazing.
And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how Holiday's own journey with this book became a living example of its philosophy.
Right. Tell us about that.
Well, when he first pitched it back in 2012, he was, 25, a college dropout.
Young, yeah.
And pitching this idea about an obscure school of ancient philosophy, as he put it, his publisher wasn't exactly jumping for joy.
I bet. Not an easy sell.
Not at all. The offer was less than half his first bestseller's advance. Some people apparently thought it might sell maybe 5,000 copies, tops.
Wow. So it was an obstacle right from the get-go.
Absolutely. An obstacle to getting the idea out there.
And here's where it gets really interesting, right? Despite those low expectations, the slow start.
Mm-hmm.
A strategic discount on the ebook, maybe a little luck with the Amazon algorithm.
Things started moving.
Yeah. And then, maybe a year and a half later, news breaks that the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks,
Two huge NFL teams.
were reading it, recommending it.
Right.
Suddenly, it takes off.
And now, a decade later, it's in 40 languages, sold over 2 million copies in English alone.
Incredible. So the author's own experience being underestimated, facing skepticism, it became the perfect proof for his own message.
It really did.
Yeah.
And it highlights, I think, a foundational point of the book. Anything that happens to us, humiliations, misfortunes, embarrassments,
Even heartbreak.
even heartbreak, it can all be viewed as raw material.
Raw material. How so?
Our experiences aren't just things that happen to us. They become fuel. Fuel for creation, for growth.
So nothing is truly wasted or irredeemably bad.
That's the idea. It's about taking even the really difficult stuff and finding a way to transform it, turn it into something productive.
Okay, let's really unpack this core idea then, starting with the first discipline Holiday talks about, perception.
Right. This is crucial.
He emphasizes that the obstacle itself, the initial thing, isn't the real problem.
No, it's our perception of it.
How we see it.
Exactly. How we react, whether we keep our composure,
Yeah.
that's what matters most. Not the obstacle itself, but our view of it.
So where one person sees a crisis.
Another sees opportunity. It's the classic example. Feelings like desperation, despair, fear, powerlessness.
Yeah.
They aren't inherent in the situation itself. They're functions of our perception. Nothing makes us feel that way.
We choose to feel that way, or choose not to.
We choose to give in, or we choose not to. Think about historical figures who stayed calm under immense pressure. Our brains, they're primed for threats.
Even old threats that aren't really there anymore.
Right. Which can lead to these really unhelpful, distorted perceptions.
It makes me think of that old Zen story. The king who put a huge boulder in the road.
I know that one.
He did it to teach his, complacent people a lesson.
And their reactions were all over the place, weren't they?
Complaining, trying to sneak around it, until one person actually decided to move it.
And found something valuable underneath.
Exactly. It highlights that central question. Are you overwhelmed by what you see, or do you look deeper? Do you try to turn it around, find the benefit?
So if perception is that critical, the big question has to be, how do we consciously shift it? How do we gain control over that?
Well, the book lays out several powerful ways. The first one is recognizing your own power.
Okay.
This is the maybe radical idea that we are never completely powerless.
Even in the worst situations.
Even then, some freedoms always remain, like the freedom to choose your attitude, your response.
We see this in incredible stories like Reuben Hurricane Carter.
Oh, amazing story.
Wrongly convicted, imprisoned for 19 years. But he refused to be treated like a prisoner.
He maintained control of himself.
Total control. Dedicated every second to his legal case, reading law, philosophy, history, just soaking it all up.
And he walked out free, innocent.
But also, as the book points out, better. Improved. He refused damages, even an apology. Why?
Because he chose that it couldn't fundamentally harm him?
Exactly. His choice was that the injustice, however awful, wouldn't define him.
That's just incredible inner strength, and we see that echoed, don't we? Nelson Mandela, James Stockdale, Malcolm X.
All figures who turned literal prisons into, workshops for self-transformation.
It really shifts your understanding. A lack of external power isn't the same as being powerless over your own mind, your spirit.
And think about Laura Ingalls Wilder, too. Little House on the Prairie.
Right. Facing incredibly harsh conditions on the frontier.
Relentless struggles.
Mm.
But she chose to see it as an adventure, as material,
She saw what it could be with hard work, with a certain spirit.
instead of just deciding she was, screwed. That's recognizing your inner power.
Okay, so recognizing power is one. Another critical piece of perception is steadying your nerves.
Yes. Cool-headedness, grace under pressure, poise.
Essential.
They often say talent isn't as important as grace and poise,
Why is that?
because grace and poise allow you to actually use whatever other skills you have.
Yeah,
Voltaire said something similar about the Duke of Marlborough.
that was it.
Something like tranquil courage in the midst of tumult and serenity of soul in danger. That inner calm. It stops you making mistakes when everything's on the line.
There's that amazing anecdote about Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, yeah.
A huge skylight shatters above him, 2-inch glass shards raining down all around.
Wow.
He didn't even flinch, didn't react, just carried on.
Incredible calm.
It shows that when you aim high, when you take on big things, pressure and stress are basically guaranteed. So
Yeah.
cultivating that unflappability, it's crucial.
Which leads right into the next point. Controlling your emotions. NASA famously trained astronauts in the art of not panicking.
More than almost anything else, right?
Yeah. Because panic, it leads to mistakes. It overrides rational thought. In space, panic is literally suicide.
And down here on Earth,
It's often the source of most of our problems.
that's a powerful lesson. If an emotion can't actually change the situation,
Then it's probably unhelpful, maybe even destructive.
so the goal isn't suppressing feelings altogether.
No, not at all. It's controlling them. Domesticating them, as the book puts it.
Okay, but how? How do you actually do that when emotions feel overwhelming?
The idea is to use logic to defeat them. Ask questions
Like what?
like, aren't losses normal in this field? Or is this situation truly catastrophic? Haven't I handled worse before?
Or even just repeating something simple.
Yeah, like, I am not going to die from this. Marcus Aurelius had a great question, too.
The Stoic emperor. What was his...
He asked, basically, does what happened stop you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness?
And if the answer is no,
Then get back to work. Stop letting the emotion derail you.
that connects perfectly to the next discipline under perception. Practicing objectivity.
Yes. Seeing things as they are.
Without all the extra baggage and judgment we tend to pile on.
Right. Holiday used the example. This happened and it is bad. That's two things.
This happened is objective.
And it is bad is subjective. The legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi made a similar distinction.
Between the observing eye and the perceiving eye.
Exactly. The observing eye is strong. It just sees what's there. The perceiving eye is weak. It sees insurmountable obstacles.
So the key is removing the you, the subjective part, from the picture.
Pretty much. Think about how clear other people's problems seem to us.
Yeah, it's always easier from the outside.
That clarity comes because we don't have our personal baggage clouding our view.
Okay, another crucial element here is focusing. Focusing relentlessly on what's actually in your control.
Yes. Directing your energy where it counts, not wasting it.
Like the serenity prayer.
Exactly. Or that 2,000-year-old Stoic phrase, ta ephemen, ta ukephemen.
What's up to us, what's not up to us.
Right. Focus your energy only on what is up to you, and that energy gets magnified. Energy spent on uncontrollable things, just wasted.
And seeing an obstacle as a challenge, not a disaster, that is up to us.
Always.
The legendary pitcher Tommy John is a great example.
26 seasons after that elbow surgery.
Groundbreaking surgery. Many thought his career was over, but he kept asking.
Is there a chance? Do I have a shot? Is this something I can do?
That laser focus on what he could control let him make this almost superhuman comeback. Pitched again at 45.
Incredible focus. Didn't waste energy lamenting.
And that leads to another point, living in the present moment.
Avoiding getting bogged down in endless analysis or dwelling on why me, or is this fair?
We waste so much energy on that stuff, don't we? Trying to figure out what everything means.
Instead of just dealing with the problem right in front of us. Emerson put it perfectly. We cannot spend the day in explanation.
Love that. So it doesn't matter if it feels like the worst time ever or the obstacle looks huge.
No. What matters is right now is right now. This moment isn't your whole life, just a moment in your life.
So focus on what's right here. Ignore what it represents or why it happened. Just tackle the immediate reality.
Precisely.
And the final part of perception. Thinking differently.
Challenging your own assumptions.
Yeah.
Pushing perceived limits.
Steve Jobs and his famous reality distortion field.
Right. The Macintosh story.
Mm-hmm.
Engineers say 2 more weeks.
He calmly says, if you can do it in 2, you can do it in 1.
And they did it. It shows how much our own perceptions shape what we think is possible.
He apparently refused to tolerate people who didn't believe in their own abilities.
And you see this in strategy too, like blitzkrieg in warfare.
The lightning attack.
It works partly by exploiting the enemy's flinch, their perception of being overwhelmed, their hesitation. You break through their perceived limitations, and maybe your own too.
It makes you think about elite athletes facing adversity. What happens?
Well, the sources say initially, yeah, there's often isolation, doubt.
But afterwards?
Afterwards, they consistently report gaining perspective, realizing hidden strengths.
So the very fears they faced
Turned into greater abilities in those exact areas. The obstacle didn't break them, it literally made them stronger.
Wow. So, wrapping up perception, what does this mean for you, the listener?
It means consciously choosing how you see things, steadying your nerves when things get chaotic,
Managing your emotions rigorously, practicing objectivity,
focusing only on what you control, living in the present.
and constantly challenging your own limits. These are the lenses. This is the foundation for transforming any challenge.
Right.
Okay, so with perception hopefully clearer, the next discipline is action.
But not just any action.
No, it's about right action, directed action, taken with deliberation, boldness, and persistence. Lots of persistence.
A really powerful story here is Demosthenes.
The ancient Greek orator.
That's him. Born sickly, had a speech impediment, and his inheritance was stolen.
A rough start. Most people would just give up.
Absolutely. But instead, he saw this great orator speak, got inspired, and took, well, pretty radical action.
What did he do?
Filled his mouth with pebbles to practice articulation, spoke into the wind to build vocal strength, rehearsed speeches while running uphill.
Wow. He even built an underground study.
Yeah. And shaved half his head so he'd be too embarrassed to go out and would just stay in and study. Total commitment.
And the result,
He didn't just get his inheritance back through lawsuits,
which is amazing enough.
but through that whole process of fighting his limitations, he became the greatest orator in Athens.
And when asked about speech making,
His reply was, action, action, action. It wasn't just effort. It was focused, strategic, relentless action.
so this raises a key question for us, doesn't it? When you face an obstacle,
Are you running towards the metaphorical explosion? Running away? Or just frozen?
paralyzed, we often just dither, don't we? We talk about the brain.
Without actually doing anything, expecting it to magically fix itself.
But obstacles only respond to action, determined action.
So the first step is just get moving.
Initiate. Press forward, even if the path isn't totally clear.
Think about Amelia Earhart. That first transatlantic flight.
She wasn't even the pilot, right? She was a passenger.
Yeah, she called it a pretty offensive proposition. Many would have scoffed.
But she saw it as an opening.
Put her foot in the door and kept pressing forward relentlessly. That unglamorous first step.
Paved the way for her to become this global icon. It wasn't about the perfect start, just a start.
And it shows that cool persistence, too, like Grant at Vicksburg.
Under immense pressure, facing being fired.
But he refused to be rattled, refused to rush. He just kept trying things, option after option.
Knowing one would eventually work, just outlasting the problem.
Thomas Edison was like that, too. He didn't see inventing as just a flash of genius.
More like an intuition followed by difficulties.
A mountain of difficulties. His real genius was his tolerance for them, his steady dedication.
It's supposed to be hard. Your first attempts aren't going to work.
Right. The point is keep moving, keep trying, keep iterating.
And this really changes how we should view failure, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We try so hard to avoid it.
But it's not something to avoid. It's feedback, crucial information.
Exactly. Think about the Allies in WWII in North Africa.
They intentionally chose difficult battlefields. Why?
To learn, to figure out how to fight the Germans through early failures. They welcomed it.
They expected a learning curve, saw setbacks as part of the path to winning later.
They knew you learn more from what goes wrong, so they built failure into the plan.
That's a great lesson for tackling big obstacles instead of trying to push them away with brute force.
Break them down. Small, deliberate actions. Eliminate one part, then the next.
We tend to be A to Z thinkers, right? Worry about A, obsess over Z.
And forget all the steps in between, B through Y.
Grant had that line when his generals were freaking out about Robert E. Lee.
What did he say?
Something like, go back to your command and try to think what we are going to do ourselves. Focus on your next move, not the whole war.
Brilliant. Which leads to another key point about action. Do your job, do it right.
Excellence in everything, even small things.
Because everything matters. How you take that last at bat, how you act on your last day at work, how you push in your chair.
It's all a chance to be your best. How you do anything is how you can do everything.
President Andrew Johnson apparently used to talk proudly about being a tailor.
Saying his garments never ripped.
Exactly. And Andrew Carnegie said first jobs often introduce us to the broom. Even basic tasks are training grounds.
Okay, and within action, there's this idea of pragmatism.
Focusing on what works, not just following rigid rules or methods.
Finding the right way to get it done, period.
Finding leverage.
F.
Approaching from the line of least expectation.
The unexpected angle. The thing no one else thought of.
Exactly.
Like Samuel Zemery, the fruit guy, needing that bridge in 1915.
Right. Illegal because of bribes. So what does he do?
Builds 2 long piers and this temporary pontoon thing he could assemble in hours.
And just calls them a couple of little old dwarfs.
Yeah.
Genius.
Didn't fight the obstacle head on, just found a clever way around it. Pragmatic.
It's like martial arts, right? You don't push back when push.
You pull, use their momentum against them.
Right. Strategic success often comes indirectly. Liddell Hart found only like 2% of decisive military victories came from direct frontal attacks. It's about being adaptable.
Which leads perfectly to using the obstacles against themselves.
Right.
Turning weaknesses into advantages.
Gandhi's Satyagraha campaign is a prime example.
He didn't use force against the British Empire.
No, he let them do the fighting and losing. He provoked them into enforcing their own unjust laws.
Which exposed their weakness. Neutralized their strength by using it against them.
Brilliant. Or Alexander the Great in Bucephalus, the wild horse.
Didn't try to break him with force.
No, he just lightly mounted, hung on, let the horse wear itself out, used its own energy against it.
Actress Kate Winslet has a cool approach, too, asking, what can I get for free from a challenge?
How does that work?
If she's tired or nervous before a scene, she just uses that tiredness or nervousness in her character, lets it become part of the performance.
So you take the disadvantage, being tired, underestimated, attacked, and find the hidden advantage in it.
Exactly. This also connects to channeling your energy.
Taking constrained or emotional energy and directing it productively.
Transforming constraints into fuel, like Arthur Ashe, the tennis player.
Facing segregation, he masked his emotions on court. Seemed cool.
But channeled all that suppressed energy into his playing style. Bold and graceful.
Physically loose and mentally tight. What a description.
Or Joe Louis, the boxer, the ring robot.
Sublimated all emotion behind that steely face. Intimidated opponents more than any aggression could.
And think of Taylor Swift using music to process things, not just lashing out.
So constraints aren't just limits. They're like dams storing energy.
Energy you can then deploy strategically, like Toussaint Louverture.
The leader of the Haitian Revolution. So fluid, so adaptable.
They called him Louverture, the opening, because he found an opening in every single obstacle. Incredible.
It really is.
Okay, last point, under action. Seizing the offensive.
Turning defense into attack.
Knowing the right moment to push forward. Napoleon's Fronterfahrung.
That combat sense. Knowing the exact instant to attack, often when everyone else is exhausted.
Rallying when others are pulling back.
A masterclass in this was Barack Obama in 2008. That race scandal.
Could have sunk his campaign. Everyone told him to downplay it, right?
Pretty much. But he did the opposite, turned it into a teachable moment.
A more perfect union speech addressed race head-on.
Didn't just neutralize the crisis, he seized the high ground. Turned a massive threat into a powerful advantage.
Wow. Okay, so action isn't just busy work.
No, it's doing the right thing strategically, persistently.
And using the obstacles themselves as fuel, intelligent, determined movement.
That's it.
All right, we've covered perception, how we see things, and action, how we respond. Now we hit the third discipline, the will.
And this might be the deepest, maybe the hardest one.
Cultivating inner strength, the power to endure, to contextualize suffering.
And ultimately to thrive, no matter what's happening externally.
Because sometimes clear thinking and clever action aren't enough, right?
Exactly. Some obstacles are just bigger, Or persistent. We have to be ready for things not to work out easily.
And find some greater purpose, even in the struggle.
Yeah. The big question becomes, when you're really put under pressure, sliced open by tension,
Yeah.
what's inside?
Iron, or just air, or
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah. What's your core made of?
So the first step in building this will is preparing for none of it to work. That sounds bleak.
Huh. Maybe a little. But it's about building that inner fortress, resilience that can withstand the inevitable trials.
Like Abraham Lincoln, facing the Civil War, slavery, unimaginable obstacles.
Yet he wasn't tempted by petty fights or personal attacks. His own immense suffering seemed to fuel his compassion, his patience.
Malice towards none, even in that conflict.
And his favorite saying, "This too shall pass." That reflects that inner fortress.
The strength to endure, find meaning, even when you can't just fix the problem. He worked with rivals, liked disagreement, forgave quickly. That's will.
Absolutely. Which leads to the idea of actively building your inner citadel.
Not just reacting, but fortifying yourself ahead of time.
Like Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Sickly kid, severe asthma. His dad tells him, "You have the mind, but not the body."
And Roosevelt's response, "I'll make my body."
And he did. Worked out like crazy for 5 years, built incredible physical toughness.
And that early training prepared him for everything later. Losing his wife and mother on the same day, assassination attempts.
Exactly. That foundation of self-made resilience served him his whole life. Ancient philosophers were like this too.
Mental athletes.
Yeah, building up their minds through practice so they could handle anything with calm and wisdom.
Like strengthening an arch by putting weight on it. The tension binds the stones.
That's the analogy. We have to toughen ourselves up because the world doesn't really care about our comfort. No one's born with an inner citadel.
You have to build it, brick by brick, through practice.
And this inner work leads to something profound. Amor fati.
Love of fate. Not just accepting what happens.
But embracing it, loving it.
That sounds incredibly hard, especially with real loss, Hemingway losing all his early manuscripts.
Years of work, just gone in a lost bag. He admitted he hadn't reached that mood of acceptance at first.
But he got there.
He did. And that devastating loss forced him to start over, reinvent his style, pushed him in a direction that was ultimately better for him.
So sometimes the thing we despair over
Turns out to be exactly what we needed. It pushes us. That's amor fati, finding the good, even loving the hardship.
No one embodies this more than Thomas Edison watching his labs burn down, right?
Incredible story. Years of work, prototypes mostly uninsured, just going up in smoke.
And he calmly tells his son, "Go get your mother. They'll never see a fire like this again."
Total calm. Acceptance. But more than that.
He was invigorated.
Completely. Told a reporter he wasn't too old for a fresh start. Within weeks, the factory was partly running again. Made millions that year.
That's not just stoicism. That's actively embracing disaster, finding energy in it.
Facing it with cheerfulness, gratitude even, for the opportunity hidden inside. That's amor fati lived out.
Okay, another cornerstone of will is just perseverance.
Simple, maybe, but incredibly effective. Just keep going.
Think of Odysseus, 10 years trying to get home. Endless trials.
Or Magellan. His assistant said his greatest skill was just enduring hunger better than anyone else.
Fortitude invincimus. By endurance we conquer.
And honestly, most failures probably come from a collapse of will, not from the obstacle itself being truly unbeatable.
Oh, don't give up.
Yeah. Emerson worried about young people losing heart too soon. Unlike the cat, he said, who always lands on its feet after trying different things.
We control ourselves,
Yeah.
our own response, and that's enough. The real threat is usually internal.
Exactly.
And finding something bigger than yourself. That seems crucial for will, too.
Huge. Purpose beyond just your own suffering. James Stockdale in the Vietnam POW camp.
He focused on his mission as a leader, not just surviving.
Right. He'd seen how every man for himself ended badly. When you focus on others, on setting an example,
Your own fears shrink.
they diminish. Henry Rollins said it well. No better time than now to have a moral and civic backbone. A true north.
It reframes everything. If I can't fix this for me, how can I make it better for others?
That's how you salvage good from bad. Find strength in shared purpose. Unity over self. Bolsters your own will immeasurably.
Okay, final practice for will. Meditate on your mortality.
Memento mori. Remember, you are mortal.
Sounds grim again.
But it's not meant to be. It's meant to be invigorating, clarifying.
How so?
We act like we have forever, right? Obsess over tiny things, make endless plans. Death could cancel any second.
True.
But knowing the diagnosis is terminal for all of us, accepting that, it can make you never rattled. Always focused on what truly matters. hustling, but deliberately.
Montaigne, the writer, a near-fatal accident actually energized him.
Made him curious. He meditated on death, and it became this source of vitality, not gloom. It's a liberating awareness.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. What does this whole deep dive into the obstacle is the way mean for you, the listener, facing your own challenges?
It reveals this really profound truth, I think. It's not about trying to avoid hardship. That's impossible.
It's about transforming it.
Exactly. Connecting this to the bigger picture. It means bad things aren't inherently bad. They're just raw material.
And fate isn't something to just passively accept. It can be destiny, freedom, depending on how you engage with it.
This wisdom, often from Stoicism, it's like an operating system, an OS for navigating the inevitable difficulties of life.
So you've just explored this triad: perception, action, and will.
And these aren't superpowers for heroes. They're latent powers inside all of us, waiting.
So the next time you face that obstacle, that moment of friction or frustration, will you see it as a roadblock, something that just stops you?
Or will you choose to see it differently, as the
Yeah.
path itself, the very thing guiding you, testing you, making you better?
So the final crucial question for you now is,
What will you choose to make of your next challenge, armed with these tools to see it, act within it, and will your way through it?